So welcome YouTube people and people. You might have to hit a button. And let's come to just a comfy seated position. And if you're always getting the same foot in front, switch please. And sort of shifting side to side, just getting your sit bones nice and rooted. And let's just do some nice big inhales, reaching up, feeling your spine lengthen. And the exhale, letting your hands slowly come down, but keeping that spine nice and long. We're just trying to get the breath going and getting the spine kind of lengthened out. Wonderful. So let's change the pattern a bit. So inhale, reaching up, and then palms together on your exhale, having your hands come behind your head if that feels okay, and then coming to heart center. Good. So on the inhale, try and feel like a stretch in your biceps. Then the exhale, as you drop your hands behind your head, feeling a nice stretch in the triceps. Good. So with your own breath, nice big inhales. Well, you can add your head in if you like. So as you inhale, looking up, as your hands drop behind your head, maybe looking down a little bit, and then bringing your head back to normal. Let's just do a few more, trying to lengthen and slow down our breathing. One more time. Wonderful. Keeping your hands at heart center, your relaxed. Let's focus on our breath. Nice big inhale, and as you exhale, feel your palms pressing together and also feel your stomach muscles pulling in. If you can, also feel like your back muscles are pulling in. So it's almost like you're flipping in your core muscles like the buttons. Looking at the floor or just closing your eyes. Starting to feel your body heat up on the exhale as you're waking up your chest by pressing your hands in, feeling your core engaging, maybe even your pelvic floor pulling upwards. Generating heat by just sitting still. Good, wonderful. Let's come on to our hands and knees, and just starting by letting your hips go side to side, letting your head follow or maybe looking over your shoulder. Inhale through center, exhale looking one way, inhaling back, exhaling the other way. Wonderful. Now let's switch to some cow and cat. So exhaling to round, inhaling to arch. And as you're exhaling to round, really feel like you're strongly pulling in your stomach muscles, waking them up. Wonderful. Now let's do a big circle with our hips. So it's like you're pressing almost down into child's pose and then hip to the side, coming forward to wake up your wrists. The other side and back. Just feeling whatever you need to feel, whichever part of you needs some movement, some stretch, pressing into that part. Maybe you feel it in your shoulders, so sort of letting your elbows bend and kind of trying to push a little bit into your shoulders as you go around the circle. Good, and switching directions the other way. Wonderful. So let's press our feet into the floor, just waking them up one at a time. Pressing into your toes, kind of almost pulsing into them. And then let's try, as one foot is pressing in, the other foot's coming up. So it's just your feet are getting flexed and stretched. Good. Now let's press back. Let's open our hips a little bit. Come back into child's pose, but keeping it a little bit more active. So we're getting our hips open, we're on our elbows, and let's just wake up our wrists a bit. So maybe kind of playing the piano or some little wrist circles, just whatever's going to wake up your wrists, wake up your hands, and give you a bit of a hip opener at the same time. Maybe letting your head relax. Good. Wonderful. Now let's just do one long stretch in child's pose. So reaching out your arms, letting your head relax down. So getting a nice long stretch through your back and just letting those hips sink. Wonderful. While you're there, take one more big inhale, really let it go on the exhale. Waking your body back up and coming onto your hands and knees, maybe letting those hips go side to side if you like. Wonderful. So now let's round our feet, our toes on the floor, pressing the floor away with our arms and pressing back into our downward dog. So lengthening out your legs one at a time, getting the hamstring stretched out. Just wonderful. Making sure your wrists are happy. Wonderful. Now on your next inhale, lowering your knees, coming into your cow. So getting a little arch of your back. And as you exhale, you have a choice. You can either press back into kind of like a child's pose feeling, or you can press back into downward dog. So your choice. Inhale, your knees down, coming into cow, arching your back, and then exhale, either child's pose with your knees just staying put, or exhale to downward dog. Good. Following the movement of your breath, exhaling back, inhale, coming forward. Good. Wonderful. Coming back onto our hands and knees, bending your left elbow and looking to your right. So getting a little bit of a twist in your back. Let's see if that left elbow wants to come right down to the floor, giving your wrists a little bit of a break. Careful. Inhale back through center, straightening out both elbows and then bending your right elbow, looking to the left. So just getting our weight off our wrists for a moment or two and getting a nice twist in our back. Good, wonderful. Coming back up, and if you're, let's actually sit back on our legs for a second and just shake out our wrists because we're going to be using them again. Okay, so speaking of which, we're going to come into a plank, and you can be, if you like, on your elbows and forearms if that feels good, or if you like, you can be, some people like it better to be on their hands, the straight arms. So choosing the version of plank that's going to work for you. And we're going to really focus on our breathing. So once you're in your plank, on the exhale, really feel those stomach muscles pulling in. Feel it's almost like your quad muscles are tightening and pulling your knees up towards your hips. So just focusing on your breath, feeling that heat starting to rise up through your body, and really feeling the grr on the exhale. Good. Wonderful. Now we're going to slowly come on back down, coming into a child's pose for a rest, giving our wrists a break, giving our bodies a break. And I want you again to focus on the exhale, but this time in a relaxing way. So nice full inhale. And then on the exhale, letting those stomach muscles relax and just letting everything sink down. Wonderful. On your next inhale, coming back up onto your hands and knees, and we're going to come into a plank again. So choosing which one you want to do. And on the exhale, once you're there, really feeling your core engaging. And then try having your hips shift side to side a little bit. So really keeping your core strong. And as you shift side to side, feel how the sides of your body are having to hold on. Good. Just a bit more. Wonderful. Let's drop our knees down and come into downward dog. So stretching out your legs. Great, wonderful. And then walking your feet up to meet your hands and letting your body just shake out. So shaking out your wrists, shaking out your arms, just letting everything relax. And then whenever you feel like it, slowly rolling up. Till you come to standing. Good, wonderful. So once we get to standing, let's do those arm patterns from the beginning. Inhale to reach up, exhale, hands coming behind your head, then to heart center. Good, so we're getting a nice big stretch through the biceps, really reaching those arms as you inhale up, looking up, then palms together. Exhale, your hands coming behind your head, maybe lifting a little bit for a moment or having your head come down, feeling that stretch in the triceps. Good. So with your own breath. Wonderful. So let's do some chairs. So your feet about, I like hip width apart. Exhale into your chair, nice and low if you can. Inhale, coming back up, maybe reaching your arms a bit back for some shoulder mobility. So hips heading back as you sit. Inhale, nice and proud in your chest. Arms maybe reaching a bit. Keep going at your own pace. Good, looking good, and always listening to your knees. Good, wonderful. Now, next time you're nice and low, staying there. Let's see how it feels, staying nice and low, and exhale, drawing your elbows in. Inhale, reaching them up, just to distract us. Exhale, squeezing the elbows in. Inhale, reaching up. Good. Next time, inhale, reaching all the way up. Big stretch. Maybe letting your hips come forward, really reaching your arms up. And then exhale, arms coming down either side. Good. Let's do some big hip circles. So just really letting your hips move around. Back around the other way. So now let's wake up our balance. So that's very much about your core and your eyeballs. So staring at something as you shift your weight side to side. Maybe lifting up one foot and then the other. And bringing all your weight onto one foot. Let's see how it feels to sort of take the in the air knee. Bring it in and then opening it out. So it's sort of like this sort of feeling to your hip joint, if that feels okay. So we're going with the balance. It's like the inward rotation of the hip and then outward rotation. Or you can have if it feels better, the knee coming forward and open. Whatever feels good in the hip. You guys are looking great. You're about this big, but you look great in that miniature size. Good. Now let's, before we do the other side, do a big inhale, grabbing our hands, bending to the side. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, other way. Good, wonderful. Inhale up, exhale, coming on down. So now we're going to shift our weight onto the other side. Same thing, either diving your knee in and open, if that feels okay with the internal rotation, or having your knee come straight forward and open outward. And of course, trying to balance and stare at something that's not moving. Wonderful. All right, good. So let's let our hips go side to side, let our arms go side to side. Good, shaking everything out, and then let's make our way into warrior two. So that's the one where your hips are open. So stepping back, got your front knee in line with your toes. And then let's do some gentle pulsing. So as you exhale, bend a little bit more. And just kind of like, I don't know how to describe this, but just sort of soft kind of bird flapping wings, arms. Good. So inhale, straighten up the knee a bit, exhale, bending into it. So just warming up the thigh. Good. And then let's stay in the warrior two, reaching those arms nice and strong in your legs. Feel like you're pressing your feet into the floor. Good. Wonderful. Now let's flip the front hand and let's inhale. Inhale coming with the arm reaching up, and then exhale coming back into your warrior two. So inhale, looking up, getting that nice stretch in the front body. Exhale, settling maybe a bit deeper into your lunge feeling. Exhale, reaching up. Good, wonderful. Now let's have this front arm, keep going, maybe resting on your knees. Some people will be able to touch the floor. Back arm, reaching overhead. Good, extended side angle. Really pressing into that back foot, getting a big long stretch up the back body. Wonderful, and then inhale, coming on up. Let's have our feet facing forward, our toes facing forward. And let's just let our hips go side to side for a moment or two. But just wherever you feel like you need a little bit of stretch, let's maybe take our hips in a circle. Just releasing anywhere we have tension, switching directions. Wonderful. So let's do all that on the other side. So starting by kind of gently bending into that front knee, sort of a bird flap reach with our arms, just trying to have like a gentleness in the arms, a reachingness, waking up the shoulders a bit. So it's on your exhale that you're bending into that front knee a bit more. Good, wonderful. Now settling into your warrior two, really feeling your feet pressing down into the floor like they're trying to press the floor away. And let's get into that breathing pattern. As you inhale, you're flipping your front palm, coming into your sun warrior. And as you exhale, coming back into your warrior two, maybe going a bit deeper in that front knee. Going with your own breath, your own knee happiness. To avoid too much pressure on that front knee, when you bend into it, really feel like you're pressing into your back leg too, like your weight isn't coming forward, your weight is still balanced in between the two legs. Looking good. Now when you're ready, let's do tilting forward, extending the back arm, getting a big stretch up the back and side body, pressing that back leg really into the floor. Maybe you can reach the floor. Good, feel that big, big stretch. And then Inhale, reaching back up, having your feet face forward, walking them in a bit. Good, so hands on your hips. Let's just let your pelvis rock a little bit. So sort of like you're letting your pelvis come forward, looking up, and letting it rock back. Start getting a hip flexor stretch, and then kind of a hamstring stretch. So I want to try something that my back I don't think is quite up for, but maybe your back is. The name of the game is trying to keep your spine really long. So what we're going to try, is your feet are underneath your hips, and try extending your back and see, actually let's bring your feet in a bit more. See if you can hold this feeling. Maybe bring your hands to your thighs, so long spine, strong core. See if you can hold this feeling. Good, one big inhale, and then as you exhale, letting your knees bend, letting your back bend down, just shaking everything out. Forward fold. Nice big inhale, nice big exhale, just let everything flop. Good, now slowly coming down onto your back, onto your mat, please. Wonderful, so I feel like we need to stretch out those legs a bit before we do some more core. So let's cross over one leg, hugging it in, getting that stretch in that side of your leg. Breathing deep. Good, wonderful. Switching legs. Wonderful. Now let's go for a full body stretch, reaching your arms overhead, feeling everything lengthening out the legs. Good. Big stretch. Big inhale. And as you exhale, hugging in your knees, pushing out the air. Wonderful. Knees bent, feet on the floor. We're going to do some Pilates-ish stuff. So actually first, let's just let our hips and our knees flop side to side, just getting a little bit of a massagey feeling in the back and in the hips. Wonderful. So now having your spine nice and long, giving your head a bit of a shake so it's relaxed. So this is the one where your weight is not pressing down through the small of your back. You're keeping a little happiness of gentleness in your lower back. So let's have our hands alongside our hips, palms facing in and pressing in. So you feel your chest and your underarms very alive. Nice big inhale. On the exhale, feel the pelvic floor contracting, your abdominis contracting to lift you up. Inhale, coming on down. So exhale, you're curling up. Inhale slowly with resistance, lowering down. Keep going. Now lowering back down, hands alongside your hips, and let's do some glute bridges. So pressing up and then slowly with resistance, strong core, lowering the hips back down. So inhale, pressing through your heels, your strong quads and glutes are pressing your pelvis up, and then keeping a nice strength through your core and your back. So you're just slowly lowering back to the floor on the exhale. Then when you're ready, lowering back down, having a little break, maybe letting your knees flop from side to side. Okay, so the next one's a little strange. We're going to have our hands behind our head if that feels okay. And we're going to sort of the whole time, when we curl up, we're going to keep that curl up feeling, pretending there's an apple between your chest and your chin. Breathing deep, if you like, lifting up your knees. If you're like doing some bicycling with your legs, but keeping your breath going, trying to keep your neck happy. And if you really want, you can start trying to roll a bit onto your side. Ooh, rolling back through center and then rolling the other way. So the key is to kind of tip onto your side, but not totally tip over. Oh, it's a bit of a break for the neck when you're on the side, but keeping your core strong, keeping your breath going. Oh, I'm done. So let's reach out our arms, reach out our legs, get a big, big stretch. Oh, good. Now having your arms reach up towards the ceiling, and let's just let our arms go side to side, just getting a nice stretch in our shoulder blades. Good, and let's do some circling with our arms. Just feeling it like your upper back's getting massaged into the floor and switching directions. Wonderful. So now let's do the same idea with our knees. Starting, let's roll our whole body side to side, getting it kind of massaged into the floor. And staying on our back, doing some knee circles one way. The other way. Wonderful. Now let's nice big inhale. And as you exhale, come into your happy baby. Finding whatever version works for you. Maybe grabbing the outside of your calves. Maybe you can reach that side of your feet. Just gently pressing your knees down towards the floor. Getting your inner thigh opened up. Good. Wonderful. Slowly putting your feet back on the floor. And let's have our feet be a little bit wider than our hips. If your shoulders let you, elbows bent and hands above your head. My one shoulder doesn't want to, so I'm going to put it lower. So maybe arms wide or arms with your elbows bent above your head. And we're going to let our knees drop one way, feeling that internal rotation of your hip. Inhale back through center, going the other way. So we're just feeling that gentle inward rotation of the hip and kind of twisty. And doing with your arms what your shoulders can tolerate. Good, wonderful. I just feel like we need to cross over our one leg again and hug it in. So let's do that. Just suddenly felt like that's something we need to do. Even though we've done it already, let's do it again. So just gently drawing in your legs so you feel that nice big hip opener stretch. Breathing deep. Switching legs. Good, wonderful. Putting both your feet on the floor. Let's come into your bridge. So pressing your pelvis up, feeling your whole front body stretching out. Take a nice big inhale and exhale slowly, lowering down, hugging your knees into your chest. Good. Now when it comes, a nice big inhale. And then exhale, just let everything flop out into Shavasana, letting everything just relax. So focusing on your breath, feeling your lower belly expanding on the inhale, and then slowly relaxing on the exhale. Depending on your day, if you can stay in Shavasana, please do. A nice thing to do is do a bit of a body scan where you start at your head and you just bring your attention to every part of your body, moving down to your toes. If you need to move on with your day, stretching out and moving, waking up your body, and then rolling onto your side. And then slowly coming back up to seated with your hands pressed together at heart center. Let's go with the feeling in our bodies as you inhale and just gently feel that connection between your hands. Feel like a gentleness in your body as your stomach expands. So let in a full breath. And as you exhale, gently pressing your palms together, pulling in your stomach muscles and feeling a strength. Namaste. Just going to stop the recording.